Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of BSD Synergy. I'm your host, Mason Egger, and this week's episode is Into the Cloud with BSD. So if you're wondering why I'm wearing the same clothes as I was in the last video, it's because I filmed this episode right after I filmed the previous episode. I've actually been on vacation since Tuesday. I went up to Colorado and went and saw the Rocky Mountains. So I wanted to make sure that I still had a content video for you this week, but I didn't really have the time to do one. I will have gotten back late Sunday night, and I will have had no time to actually prepare, so I decided to go ahead and touch on something that I can't believe I haven't touched on yet. So I've been telling you a lot lately, go out and try these things, go out and have fun. Well, I've been telling you to do that, but you either have to have a virtual machine or some spare hardware, but reality, you don't. You could be doing these things in the cloud. Most of the major cloud image providers do provide some form of BSD. Rackspace, AWS, DigitalOcean for sure. I've heard that Linode might. I'm not quite positive. I've actually never used Linode. I might actually look into that because I've heard that Linode might be supporting like NetBSD, which I've never seen a cloud image of NetBSD before. So that would actually, give me a way to be able to work with NetBSD more because I really do want to find a way to use it more. It seems like such a cool operating system, but I just can't find a use for it. So I really want to try that. So maybe I'm going to look into Linode, however you say it, and see if I can get a NetBSD cloud image. So today I'm going to be showing you how to create BSD images in both AWS, Amazon Web Services, and DigitalOcean. And during the demo, I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of using either or. So with that being said, let's just jump on into it. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is Oz. And I'm going to go over some benefits and disadvantages to both cloud hosting platforms. One of the benefits to Oz is if you get a really teeny tiny server and you only use it a teeny tiny bit, you can have it free for a year. That's pretty nice. I did take advantage of that whenever I was first getting started with cloud servers. I had actually had a Red Hat server that I ended up getting rid of really fast because once the year was over, the amount that they wanted for the subscription base, the server at 1 gig of RAM and one processor was costing me close to $54 a month. And I was like, that's freaking ridiculous. So I very quickly deleted that server. I wish Red Hat wasn't so expensive. I do like BSDs and stuff, but I really don't have much bad to say about Red Hat. But I'm actually long past that now. That was 3-4 years ago. I am now pretty much fully committed to BSD. So I like the free. I like all of the outside options that Oz gives you in some regards. Elastic IPs are interesting. Where basically, the IP of your server can be the IP of your server, but you can also get a free Elastic IP, and as long as you attach it, it's free. And basically, it's like a static, but not, even though your server already has a static, but you can't set up a reverse DNS record without an Elastic IP. I figured that out the hard way. So that's okay. I really don't understand. I have a friend who works at Amazon who constantly tries to explain this stuff to me and explain to me that it's the greatest thing ever. And honestly, I think it's just a bunch of just layers of misdirection and stuff, but it's fine. Their stuff works. I'll tell you right now, I've had little to no problem with Amazon Web Services, and I can't say anything bad about their service and stuff. The reason that I personally no longer use Amazon Web Services, one, I found that DigitalOcean is more fairly priced, but look at all of this. Okay, there is a lot of shit here. As a person playing with things and setting up a website for himself and setting up a blog server for himself and not trying to manage a multi-billion-dollar industry, I use one of these. I use EC2 for the virtual server in the cloud. I've thought about using S3, but I have no use for that. For your average everyday user, not only is this unnecessary, but it's confusing. It took me a while when I first started just to figure out which one of these stupid buttons I had to push. It's overwhelming. So that's my main complaint about it. But EC squared is what you would use to make your instance. And I currently have a running instance. This is actually one of my startups accounts. So there is a running instance of CentOS because, again, I made that a long time ago. And sometimes once you get a server running, you really don't want to change it. I'm going to go ahead and launch an instance. Now, these show up as your quick starts. So my AMIs are things that I have created myself. That cost extra money if you're trying to use the, use something different. One thing that is different about Oz, that's, I guess you can say better or worse, it's totally up to you. They do support Red Hat, they support SUSE, they have Microsoft. You know, there are times in which we must use Microsoft. I am doing my best to avoid those, but if you're a person that needs Microsoft, yeah, Oz is going to work. So, but if you actually want to get to FreeBSD, it's not a default. You have to go to the Oz Marketplace and type in FreeBSD. And it is free tier eligible. It's FreeBSD 10. And it was updated on April 10th. Oh, good. They finally changed it to Linux Unix. It used to be labeled as other Linux, and that was really sad. Oh, look. They've changed the pfSense logo to Netgate. Wow. Interesting. You can now have they must be really pushing for that. Last updated. Yeah, and it was updated this year, too. For a while, it hadn't been getting updated. That's pretty interesting, I have to say. Like, they've already changed to the Netgate logo. Man, those people are moving forward. That's really cool. Really glad. I've met the Netgate people. They're awesome people. Open hardware and open source software going together to make a badass product. You could make a Marvel movie about that. Anyways, we would select FreeBSD. We're gonna do T2 Micro. It's the free tier eligible. 1 virtual CPU, 1 gig of RAM. EBS, this is some storage thing, I believe. No, storage, EBS, I don't know. Again, complicated. All I know is that my free one is, for some reason, was having some crazy disk I/O and like went way over budget and stuff and pissed me off. So from this option, you can go ahead and review and launch. Next, for your configuration, number of instances, so you can do that. Purchasing options if you want. Network, which network you want to be on. You can create a new virtual private cloud to put this in. Subnet, default subnet, depending on where you want to be. I guess if that matters to you. Auto assign, IAM role, shutdown behavior. Stop if you make it to terminate. When it shuts down, it deletes itself. That's so that Oz was designed kind of like it scales up. As you know, oh no, this server's having problems. Let me clone and scale up and scale, I think, horizontally. Horizontally, and deal with the load. And then as the load decreases, it will delete the servers and come back down. So that's pretty cool. Enable termination protection. I always do this because you accidentally terminate and oh no, your server's gone, all your work's gone. So enable CloudWatch. You can turn this off again easy. It's fine. I don't really deal with that. I don't need it. Again, free tier, all the things that you add when you're doing on a free tier, everything you add, except for this termination stuff, everything you add is going to cost you more money. Adding storage, just deal with it. Size, it's 10 gigabytes. You can make it larger. I don't really know where the cutoff is. Tag instance, if you want to add tags. This is actually the part that I wish DigitalOcean had, and I miss it, and I love it, is that there are ACL security groups built in, and I don't have to worry about a firewall. Now, you should, but I don't. So I can say SSH from my IP, and it automatically gets my IP address. And I add a rule, and I can check the port, but it's got all of this. I miss this. This is the one biggest thing, the number one thing I miss. Not now that I'm on DigitalOcean, and if DigitalOcean could bring this kind of thing to it, boy oh boy would I be happy. Because I don't mind configuring firewalls, but being able to do it from here, it's just so nice. And then I create one security group, and then I can put everybody in the same group, because really and truly, I'm only allowing SSH from my IP address, and actually I don't even really do much of that anymore, because I don't have statics anymore, but HTTP, HTTPS, everybody else is closed. I love it. It's great. And all that block processing, like blocking the attacks and all that stuff, that's not happening on my server. That's happening on their end. And that's wonderful. And this is where you review and launch, and boom, we review. And we would have a FreeBSD server. And that's pretty cool. Now, DigitalOcean is a little bit different. I have to say they're a little bit smaller. They tout being all on solid-state drives, which is pretty cool. You get some nice performance out of that. They have a much less of an option on droplets, is what they call them. That's their little virtual machines. They actually do have some one-click apps. So, if you want to look at, is that Pokemon? Do they seriously have a freaking Pokemon drop? That's okay. Don't really use the one-click apps ever. None of this actually looks cool to me. They have actually just added being able to add storage to it, like being able to add like storage blocks, kind of like what Amazon is doing. So that's pretty cool. But say you want free BSD, there you go. And the cool thing that I like about this is they actually have the different versions, and 10.3 is where it's booting off ZFS. Hallelujah. We hear the hallelujah chorus. 10.3. Oh, hey, look, I'm finally verified where I can get a $640 a month server for 64 gigs, 20 CPUs. That's nice. Now, if you want one, choose a $5 one. That'll save you some money. There is a coupon code that will allow you to get $10 free credit. It's not part of my channel. It's if you go and watch the BSD Now videos and wait for the DigitalOcean thing, or commercial, basically they do an advertisement for it, they will tell you a code that will get you 10 free dollars. So basically 2 free months, which is pretty nice. But free BSD, $5 a month. Block storage, that's what they've just added. I can add volumes of block storage if I want it. It's currently only available in, it looks like, Frankfurt, New York C1, and San Francisco 2. I choose a data center, New York 1, 2, 3, San Francisco, Amsterdam, Singapore, London, Frankfurt, Toronto, Bangalore. Oz actually charges more money to put you in a different place. And there's actually a speed test tool built into this system somewhere, I don't remember exactly where it's at, that will allow you to speed test between the data centers and find out which one is the best served from your house. Additional options, private networking. Here's the big one, IPv6. Oz doesn't support IPv6 for its VMs yet. By default, you can have an IPv6 VM, and that's pretty cool. New SSH key, my work laptop and my MacBook Pro. And then you come down here and you should give it a host name. And then I'm like, oh, I want more. Boom, 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 boom. I can spin up all of these really fast. I can actually change that too. So this one would be BSD Synergy, and I click create, and name that song. Oh, it's supposed to be a little faster than this. Come on, hurry up. Oh, it's waiting. It's waiting for me. Come on, Charlie. Come on, Charlie. There it goes. And now we have a cloud server. That fast. And actually, if I wasn't sitting there explaining everything to you, I could have gone click, 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 boom, had a cloud server. You can almost deploy these in less than a minute. It's wonderful. They're small. They scale. You can easily scale them back up. Access, you can get console access if you want. On your Linux ones, you can reset the root password. Doesn't work. They don't do that since it's not, they don't manage it with FreeBSD on here. Power off, power cycle. Volumes, you can add block storage, resize. You can resize it. You can go up. You cannot go down. Once you go up, you cannot go down. Kind of defies physics. Networking, your public IP address, gateway, netmask, your IPv6 address. Backups. You can enable backups. Enabling backups will cost $1 per month. That's pretty nice. Honestly, though, if you're using FreeBSD, ZFS, just take snapshots. I don't even think it's like snapshots through here. I would take like live snapshots on the system, but maybe this is actually like a snapshot. Weird. Can't change out the kernel here. Can do it on some of the other ones. History, destroy, which I'm now going to do because I don't need this thing. This is mostly just to show you. So yeah, there you go. I hope that you go out and you go and play with your new fancy cloud servers. Go out and just build something small, build something fun. Enjoy it. They're really nifty. Sorry for the short episode this week. Look forward to next week when we're going to get back to a more advanced episode on OpenSSH and the cool things it can do. If you like this video, leave me a like. If you want and you want to come back and see me some more often, hit me a subscribe, show me some support and some love. If not, well, I hope that, you'll change your mind. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.